Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Updates. I am Chidera Okere. We'll begin with the headlines. TINUBU launches $250 million climate livelihood scheme for displaced Nigerians. JAMB denies barring undergraduates from 2026 UTME. NNPC raises petrol price in Abuja and Lagos. Niger appoints new economic and finance minister. Amazon to cut 16,000 jobs worldwide. Meta to test paid subscription across Instagram, Facebook and WhatsApp. Away from Africa, UAE tightens remote working visa rules. In health, World Health Organization urges healthier school meals to tackle childhood obesity. And in business, NAIRA strengthens to 1,400 per dollar as US currency slides. In sports, CAF considers new rule on goalkeepers' towels after AFCON disruptions. Now, news in full. President Bola Tinubu has unveiled a 10-year, $250 million program aimed at restoring livelihoods for Nigerians displaced by floods and other climate-related disasters. The Climate Residents Livelihood Empowerment Program for displaced populations was announced today at a high-level climate and immigration and migration event held under Nigeria's chairmanship of the Rabat process. Issued today in Abuja, JAMB spokesperson Dr. Fabian described the claims as misleading, saying the candidates already in universities are allowed to register, provided they declare their current matriculation status during the registration. He explained that the rule is to prevent multiple admissions, noting that holding two admissions at the same time is illegal. JAMB warned that candidates who fail to disclose existing admission risk losing both and urged the public to rely on only official information. In another news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has raised the pump price of petrol in Abuja to 839 naira per litre. The adjustment took effect today across NNPC retail outlets in the Federal Capital Territory. In Lagos, the price has also increased to 835 naira per litre. The new prices reflect a wider shift in Nigeria's downstream petroleum markets following a recent increase in petrol prices at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. The change follows Dangote Refinery's decision earlier this week to raise its extra-gantry price after the festive period, ending the temporary price hold aimed at easing pressure on households. The move highlights how refinery level pricing is now directly shaping fuel costs at filling stations nationwide. Niger's military leader, President Abdulrahman Tiani, has appointed Maman Laudi Abdul Rafah as the country's new Minister of Economy and Finance. The appointment was made by decree signed on 26th of January this year, ending the interim oversight of the portfolio by Prime Minister Ali Mohammed Laman Zain. Abdul Rafah is senior economist and former national director of Niger at the Central Bank of West African States. He brings decades of experience in microeconomic management, public finance, and regional monetary policy, and has previously held top roles within Niger's Ministry of Finance and State Debt Management. His appointment comes as Niger navigates economic recovery amid political instability and climate pressures. The International Monetary Fund says the economic rebounded strongly last year, driven by the extractive sector, and has urged authorities to maintain fiscal discipline and ensure transparent movement of public finances. Amazon today announced plans to cut 16,000 jobs globally, expanding a workforce restructuring first flagged in October. The company says the move affects corporate roles and does not include warehouse or delivery staff. The decision was confirmed by Amazon's Senior Vice President Beth Gelati, who said the cuts are aimed at reducing management layers, increasing accountability and cutting bureaucracy across teams. Amazon has not given details on which department will be affected. The company is expected to provide more insights when it releases its full year 2025 results on February 6th. Moving on, Meta has announced plans to test paid subscription option on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp while keeping the core services free. The company says the new plans will offer premium features and greater control over how users share and connect on its platforms. Speaking yesterday, Meta said it will experiment with different subscription models for each app. Instagram's test features may include advanced audience tools and enhanced privacy options, while paid access is also planned for AI-powered tools, including video creation features within the Meta AI app. The test will roll out in the coming month as Meta looks to diversify revenue beyond advertising, drawing lessons from its existing Meta verified service and viral platforms with successful subscription models. The company says under feedback will guide how the new offerings are expanded. We'll now go on a quick break. The news continues when we return.
AI augmented development. AI is now revolutionizing software development by automating code generation, testing, and debugging. Tools like GitHub Copilot suggest code snippets in real time, significantly speeding up the development process. However, developers need to remain cautious, as over-reliance on AI tools could introduce security vulnerabilities. As companies push for faster software delivery, AI-augmented development is becoming essential for maintaining competitiveness.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News Updates. Now the rest of the stories. Away from Africa, the United Arab Emirates has tightened requirements for its remote working visa, extending income documentation from 3 months to 6 months. The new rule takes effect today, January 28, 2026. Under the updated policy, foreign professionals seeking to live in the UAE while working for overseas employers must now submit 6 months of bank statement to prove stable income. Applicants must also meet a minimum income threshold, hold valid UAE health insurance, and provide an employer's approval letter. Authorities say the change is aimed at strengthening income verification and ensuring applicants have sustained work history as the UAE continues to position itself as a hub for global talent and remote professionals. In health, the World Health Organization has called on countries to improve the quality of food served in schools, highlighting the rising levels of childhood obesity nationwide. Worldwide, the agency released a new guideline recommending that schools adopt a whole school approach to provide nutritious meals and limit unhealthy options. The guidelines note that in 2025, around 1 in 10 school-aged children, or 188 million, were living with obesity, surpassing the number of overweight children. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus said healthy eating at school is essential for learning and long-term health. The organization recommends setting standards for school meals using strategies such as nudging to exchange better choices and enforcing policies effectively. The World Health Organization said it will support countries through technical guidance to implement these recommendations and promote lifelong healthy dietary habits. In business, Nigerians' NAIRA strengthens further today, closing at about 1,400 Naira to the US dollar as the official foreign exchange markets, making its strongest level this month. The gain extends the currency's steady appreciation seen since the start of the week, according to the market data. The improvement comes as the US dollar weakens globally after President Donald Trump said he was unconcerned about the dollar's decline, triggering fresh investor sell-offs. The dollar index has now fallen into its lowest level since early 2022, pressured by trade policy uncertainty and growing concerns about U.S. debts. In Nigeria, analysts say the Naira's performance is also supported by improved foreign exchange liquidity and ongoing central bank reforms, even as the parallel market remains weaker at around 1,480 to 1,490 Naira per dollar. The Naira has carried this positive momentum into early 2026 after strong gains last year. Finally, in sports, the Confederation of African Football says it may tighten regulation on goalkeepers' use of towels following controversial scenes at the African Cup of Nations in Morocco. The issue drew attention during the semi-finals between Nigeria and host Morocco and resurfaced in the final involving Senegal. CAF Referees Committee President Olivia Safari said the repeated interference with towels by boys, stewards and players exposed a gap in match regulations. Nigeria's Stanley Nwabali and Senegal's Edouard Mendy were both affected, with the situation escalating during the final when Senegal's substitute goalkeeper was escorted off the pitch while trying to protect the towels. Speaking to Canal Pius Afrique, Safari said towels are not recognized as playing equipment and warned against their misuse. He said CAF would review the matter to protect fair play and prevent similar disruption at future tournaments. And that's all we have for you today on Idea TV News Update. But before we go, here is the recap of the headlines. TINUBU launches $250 million climate livelihood scheme for displaced Nigerians. JAMB denies barring undergraduates from 2026 UTME. NNPC raises petrol price in Abuja and Lagos. Niger appoints new economic and finance minister. Amazon to cut 16,000 jobs worldwide. Meta to test paid subscription across Instagram, Facebook and WhatsApp. Away from Africa, UAE tightens remote working visa rules. In health, World Health Organization urges healthier school meals to tackle childhood obesity. In business, Naira strengthens to 1,400 per dollar as US currency slides. And finally, in sports, CAF considers new rule on goalkeepers' towels after AFCON description. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms at Idea TV. I am Chidera Okere. Thank you for watching.